G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is a super exciting one. I'm going to talk about FNCS. Is Clix actually even in the semi-finals now? He didn't make set lobbies again today. A lot of people freaking out like that's Clix's FNCS over. We had huge performances from teams like Reverse 2K, Chap. We had Malabuka yet again come 34th, one place off qualifying. Is he now into the finals? Does he have a chance to contest Benji Fishy, or will they finally get Steamy Uncon? There's a lot to talk about. We had connection issues causing teams to start FNCS super late. But before I get into any of that, I want to talk about all the drama that just went down with Jerian and Epic Games, why they have copyright striked his YouTube channel, which can eventually lead to your account being deleted, your YouTube channel being deleted off the platform, and why they took down a video that was almost a year old. This is a very scary situation. I hope it's a mistake. I want to talk about why, if it isn't a mistake, why they maybe did it, but why this is way bigger of a deal than a lot of people are talking about. For people like me, for creators on YouTube, if Epic can now just start striking my channel and have 3 strikes and it gets deleted because I made a video they maybe didn't like, or just because of a mistake, like, this is insane. I really want to talk about this. I'm going to kick off the video with that. There's a lot to talk about. Let's just jump into it. Before we get into talking about FNCS, let's talk about this whole Jerian versus Epic Games situation and why he has now got a copyright strike and had his video taken down off YouTube, because this is a really big deal, right? Like, this is actually a way bigger deal than I think most people realize. So let's talk about this. Jerian tweeted out, Epic Games took down my double movement video and copyright striked me, WTF. And then we see your normal standard claim that you get when YouTube messages you about a video being taken down. Few things to unpack here. Firstly, not only do they take down the video, meaning Jerian can no longer make revenue off the video, but the video is quite old. It's about a 6-month-old video, which makes this even more strange. It's not a new video, it's the copyright strike. These are a huge deal. I personally have 0 copyright strikes. If you get 3, your YouTube account will be deleted. Your channel will be terminated. Jerian would lose his over 1 million sub YouTube channel, and these don't expire. Jerian now has a strike on his account permanently. That is scary. That is a big deal in itself. So first out, straight out the gate, this isn't just like, oh, Jerian's losing a little bit of money, his video got taken down, why is he whinging? No, this is a big deal. When you take down content, you have options to either claim the revenue of the video, which means leave it up, other people can watch it, and then you receive money for the video, or you can actually issue a takedown request, which is going to be taking down the video off the YouTube itself, and they're going to get a copyright strike. It's a very strange option. Most people on YouTube usually go to just claim the video's revenue, because often it's, you know, record labels who own songs, or it's people who own content, and they don't want to take the video down because the video is making them money. They just get the money from the video, which is usually really annoying for the creator, especially if they did make the content transformative. And that's the big difference here right now. I don't get how Epic Games could have claimed this video for copyright. I mean, Jerian was probably playing Fortnite. He maybe had Fortnite footage in the background, but in the same way, there's footage in the background of my videos, but I'm talking over it. I'm making a video. I'm transforming the content. It is no longer just that person's content. I am now using it and transforming it in a certain way. It's a thin line, and I always get permission to use people's footage in my backgrounds to make sure they're okay with it, because obviously I am using their content as well. But the line for what makes transformative content and what doesn't is quite interesting. But I guarantee you, Jerian's double movement video was transformative. There's no way he was just doing anything that could be remotely close to copying Fortnite's content or copywriting it or stealing it, unless all of us playing Fortnite are doing that. So first off, straight out of the gate, this has to be for something else. But I do want to defend Epic Games here, just in case, because we've seen this in the past with other creators. When people make a copyright takedown attempt, they can use basically whatever name they want. They don't have to use their real name or what company they're from. They get to pick a name. So Epic Games Incorporated could have actually just been someone else. This could have been Jimmy John from Idaho, and he just doesn't like Jerian's video. But you imagine the video wouldn't get actually taken down and struck then. I'm guessing for this to go through, YouTube has proof that it is Epic Games, and they can prove the content is there. So it makes me think that it really is Fortnite. Now, why the double movement video specifically? Now, double movements had a sketchy history when it comes to Fortnite, but every other creator I can see who's made a double movement video, including myself, I'm kind of scared to say this now, my video is still up. I did a video like 6 months ago explaining how to use double movement. What is it? I was one of the first people to start talking about it when it first came out with the Wooting keyboard. I made one of the first popular videos on the Wooting keyboard, which didn't require software. That opened up this whole debate on double movement. Epic Games didn't know how to handle it, so they ended up saying you're allowed to use double movement and the software that's required. So if we're allowed to use it, why would a video tutorial explaining how to use it be such a big deal? This isn't like Jerian made a video on how to aimbot or how to download soft aim or how to download wall hacks. Like, double movement is allowed, or at least I'm hoping it is. I don't know if this is going to be Epic's stance towards double movement and they're now going to make a move to remove it from the platform. I don't know. I'm really confused what's going on here. I have to hope this is a mistake and Jerian gets this undone, because it's a very confusing situation and it has big ramifications for Jerian's future. If he's now making a video in future and he accidentally puts in, some audio or song from, a creator that he doesn't own the rights to, he gets another copyright strike takedown. He's on 2 out of 3. We've seen Epic use copyright strikes to get content taken off the platform they don't like. If you guys remember Zabi was a controller pro who had 600,000 subscribers, I think, at the point of his channel being taken down. He used to make solo squad videos back in the day. He was signed to Ghost Gaming. Really big deal. Epic Games had it very clearly in their terms of service. You could not promote any kind of account selling or sharing services. Zabi chose to ignore this. He would advertise websites where you could buy and sell skins and accounts at the start of his videos. Epic didn't want to tolerate that. They struck 7 of his videos instantly, giving him 3 copyright strikes, and then he had a week before his channel was deleted. Zabi lost his over 500,000 subscriber YouTube channel because Fortnite didn't like the content he was making and it was against their terms of service. And they have the right to do this, apparently. Even though you're making the content on YouTube, you're using their game and they own the rights to that game. It sets a very scary precedent. Who knows? Epic could now claim this video from me, give me a strike. It would be sad to see. I hope they wouldn't, but I don't understand why they picked Jerian's video. I have to assume this is maybe something that came out of left field for Epic Games. Maybe it was someone higher up in the company. I don't know. I just have to hope this is a mistake, because it's a very slippery slope and it's a very scary situation for creators like me. I feel like I'm pretty balanced in my opinions of Epic. When they do things great and I think they're good, I praise them. I say it's phenomenal. I get excited. When they do something I don't like this situation, I want to give my honest opinion and call them out. Should I be scared of doing that now? Am I gonna have my YouTube account struck because I'm doing that? I really hope we get some clarification on the part of Epic. Maybe Jerian gets a message. I hope Jerian shares that information, because just this tweet alone has me pretty scared, but I wanted to talk about it either way. So I'll probably make another video in the future or talk to you guys about this, because surely there is gonna be some more information on this. Is double movement no longer allowed and we should all take down our content explaining how to use it? Or was this just a mistake and Jerian gets his video back and he gets the strike taken off his account? Because I have a feeling right now Jerian's probably most stressed about that strike, not the video, because it's 6 months old. It's probably not, getting a lot of views these days anymore. It's still annoying to have content you made taken off the platform, but the copyright strike's the scary part. All right, let's move on to FNCS, because this is the final week of qualifiers. This was round 2 and 3 that took place today. So all the teams were gunning to get into round 3 and then get top 33 to play in tomorrow's or today's finals. This one's super exciting. We had some big names clutch up and make it through. We had the French team of Floki, Clement, and Deceptors taking out the win in round 3 on 194 points. Ridiculous performance from that team. We had some other big players qualify as well. Vidil, Janice, and Noah Riley being a little bit quiet to start off the season. They came 3rd. We had Karma's new team in 5th. We had Fastroki, CRR, and Aqua, the surprise team that we didn't even know existed until last week. Aqua was supposed to have retired, but he's back and he's already qualified for finals again, looking ridiculous. We also had Joe, Mongrel, and Falcon Vino Popanov coming 13th on 130 points. They played phenomenally well. They were qualified, I think, with about 45 minutes to spare. They played really well, and they played consistently. I said it last week. Look, they didn't play the best when it came to trying to get into the round 4 and then trying to play the set lobbies, but they didn't make any huge mistakes either. Like Mongrel trying to get into the set lobbies didn't really they weren't making super aggressive pushes. Mongrel wasn't looking lost. They weren't just cycling high ground for no reason. They just took a few aggressive fights that didn't go their way, and I said if they had gone their way, they would have performed far better. And here they are. This is what it looks like when the fights go their way. They played great. They got 130 points. They had an average elims of 5.25, so nothing crazy. They weren't just W king brainlessly, and they had an average placement of 10th overall. They got a 7 elim win, a 12 elim win. They got a 3 elim 4th, 4 elim 6th. Like, they had some consistent, really solid performances and really have lifted my already high expectations of them going into the set lobbies. I'm very, very excited to see how this team does. We had Tayson, Chapix, and Rizon come 18th place overall as well, easily making it inside that top 33. They played consistent across the whole day. Their worst game being a 19th place. Other than that, they were absolute placement warriors, getting top 5 or just outside it almost every single game. They played phenomenally well. Going down the list as well, we had Link's team in there, we had Zeston's team in there, we had Hen, Refscard, and Trulex. Now, this one was a monumental comeback. Going into the last 2 games, I thought there was no chance. They were way down the leaderboard. I think they had like 60 points with 2 games to go, maybe even less, and they got a 15 elim win and an 8 elim third back to back to close it out, just getting into the queue for their last game with like 2 minutes to spare as well. So they timed it perfectly, clutching up, but they didn't even have the best clutch of the day. We had Flow Nada, which is Flow is, Hell Nada, and Scram managed to get 32nd, clutching up a 23 elim second in their last game to just slide in by a single point. If they had 1 less elim, they wouldn't have qualified, and guess who they just bumped out? None other than Mustache, Malibuka, and Shizo. I tweeted out, Benji RNG is just too good. Malibuka's team last week came 34th. Someone got disqualified. They got bumped into 33rd, but Epic didn't fix it up. They weren't allowed to play finals, so they didn't get a chance to play for top 5 to go straight into grands. And yet again, they are 1 point off playing the finals, which means they don't get a chance to play for top 5 and they don't get to go straight to the grand finals. But now would be a good time to talk about how the qualification works. A lot of you guys have been asking, if they didn't make a set lobby both weeks, did they not qualify? Is Benji going to get uncon steamy? No. There is a consistency leaderboard of all the teams that came top 66. I'm not going to re-explain the whole FNCS format. All you got to know is that it's going to take the top 66 teams that are the most consistent from the 2 weeks that didn't get top 5 each week, because obviously those top 5 teams, they go straight through. The other 66 teams are left, and with getting a 34th and a 33rd in week 1 and week 2, that very much puts Malibuka's team into the semifinals. So Steamy is not Benji, Savage, and Andrettas yet. They still have a chance in the heats, and honestly, with a team as good as Malibuka, they're probably going to make it through heats or reboot rounds. But we'll have to see. We don't get to see them play the set lobbies, though. I am missing some big teams that didn't make it through that a lot of people were upset about. Leshy's team did manage to make it up there as well. Vortex's team just missing out. Pretty much any of the big names that I didn't just mention, that top 33, they didn't make it through, but there's a very good chance a lot of them will still make it through into the semifinals off consistency. I won't talk about exactly who those teams are just yet, because we have to see how tomorrow's games go. Some of the teams tomorrow, if they play really well, will get more points, which will bump them up higher inside that top 66. So I'm sorry it's a bit confusing, but after the finals, that's when I can tell you who's made heats and who's made grand finals. That'll make it all clear. Before I move on to NA East and who made it into round 3 on NA East to get top 33, we got to talk about round 2, which normally I don't put that much emphasis on. A lot of the really good teams easily make it through from round 2 to round 3. It is the top 300 teams after all, but NA East started off with a really bad connection bug that I'm sure a whole bunch of you guys are very frustrated by. Epic actually making a tweet saying, we're aware of the connection issue, we're trying to resolve it. They did resolve it, but some teams were still having issues up to 40 minutes into the tournament. They couldn't queue up for the first 40 minutes, leaving them just over 2 hours to hit their qualification spot. This was a big issue. All the big teams you expected to make it through were able to do so, but for some of them, like Chaps' team, it came really close. It came down to them having to clutch really hard at the very end, and I want to give a big shout out, and I want to show this clip of Yuz. I've been hyping up Yuz for a long time on my stream. Haven't talked about him too much in YouTube. He's now playing with Chap and Anchors, but man, Yuz clutched up big to get Chap into round 3, and no spoilers yet, but it's a good thing they made round 3 today.
Okay, I'm gonna get you. On low.
2
20.
on Yuz, at least.
200.
Nice.
200. 100. Dead.
Nice, good. This kid just got hit on.
100.
Full box.
Nice, dead.
Break right here.
Get my finish if you can.
Oh, me, right there, watch out. You get down to the right.
Go for it full.
You can go down one.
Nice.
Nice.
It's a 1v2.
1v2. Oh my
Nice, 1v1,
god!
1v1. Save that for heal off. Save that for heal off.
You
have peppers for heal off as
well. Oh, fuck.
You can go back. You can run back. Pop peppers and run back.
Honestly, just build up and fight him. You're gonna lose.
He has a mets.
That guy started to heal off early. He might actually be lower than you.
I'm so crazy. I have 12 kills. I have 12 kills. We're actually the best team ever, bro. What the fuck?
It's just so good watching Chap play and hearing him have fun on competitive Fortnite, and it highlighting none other than Yuz, who I absolutely love and knew that he could pop off. He ended up there. He said 12 kills at the end of the clip. It actually ended up being a 13 kill victory royale, which got them from round 2 to round 3. And good thing it did, because they then qualified from round 3 into round 4. We have Chap coming back after months of a break. I believe 26, maybe now 27. I know, imagine being that old. And my man's basically got one foot in the grave, right? Like, he is just a grandpa at that point, still managing to hold on and play phenomenally. Like, they didn't just play well, they played really, really well. And I want to kind of talk about this too, because we had Reverse 2K also making it to the finals as well. And it's two players that I feel like a lot of people in the community just always... They always have an issue with the fact they're not flashy, right? Like, they don't pull off flashy mechanics. Sometimes I always hear people say, oh, Chap's dead, what a surprise. Or Reverse always dies first. Or we're watching the Opens games and you'll hear people say, oh, Reverse only has 2 kills. I get it. But why are they qualifying when other teams aren't? When other teams like Clix, Tahi, and Sprite couldn't make a top 33 2 weeks in a row, no disrespect to them, but other players are who are far worse. I think people have to let go of this notion that if you don't have super flashy mechs, if you're not quarter edit, one pumping kids in endgame, you're not a good player. Because they're clearly bringing something, whether it's intelligence and game sense where they're leading them, putting them in good spots. Maybe it's just, I don't know, like maturity, emotional support, keeping the players from getting tilted, keeping them focused. Maybe it's down to training them and educating them before the game starts in scrims and things like that, and helping them learn so that, yeah, when they're popping off and carrying super hard, it's due in part to players like Reverse 2K and Chap. Because how many phenomenal players have we seen come from playing with Chap? Some of the most underrated best players that you know now are from playing with Chap. Skittles, Threats, we've seen so many people play with Chap and then go on to do insane things. Chap's just come back from months off, plays with Yuz and Enkers, who Yuz especially I think is a phenomenal player. I didn't really know much about Enkers at all, and now makes a round 4 qualifying with them. You can't say they're getting carried when they're playing with people that other pros would not have chosen to play with and then qualifying. Like, it's just, I had to get that in there because I'm really sick of hearing that, and it was a great example to show that Chap can come back. Yeah, his mechs might not be the flashiest, but he's still outperforming other players who I guarantee you guys in the comment section would say are way better, but they're just not performing as well. So let's run through this list. Let's talk about who made the finals, because there's some big names that made it on there. And like I said, with Clix's team, there are some upsets. We had Durant, Reverse 2K, and Pump win round 3. That's why I'm making such a big deal. They didn't just play well, they got 203 points, getting an almost 50-point lead on second. The FNCS winners, Slacks, Jack, and Acorn. Just ridiculous performance from Reverse 2K. So happy for him. Played phenomenally. The whole community will forever doubt Reverse 2K. My man could win the next FNCS and people would still say that he got carried, but hey, the results speak for themselves. If you're paying attention, you know how good Reverse 2K is. We have, like I said, Slacks' team in second. Going down the list, we have a lot of the names we would have expected to see in there. We have Skittles' team up there. We have Voil's team up there playing phenomenally right now. Calazo making it in the list. We had Rogue Shark's team, Pamstu. We had Nani, Bully, Degen Ages, Kanata. Managed to have a big performance. We were missing them last week. I want to see if they get a top 5. I'd be very surprised to see them not get a top 5. They did well last week, but they need to do a little bit better tomorrow. We had Scopes making it to the set lobbies, which was really big. A lot of people questioning whether the choice of Magnolia was good. A lot of people saying potentially Blake and Magnolia should have played with Ocus and not Scoped, but they clutched up. Top 20, phenomenal by them. We had Aviv's team, Stacky, Mikey. I'm not going to read all the names. Mega's up there again as well. Mega Rocane Dubs being very quiet this season, getting in there. And we had Bucky, Peterbot, and Macwood, who needed to make round 4. With how bad their performance was last week, if Bucky, Peterbot, and Macwood did not make round 4 this week, they would would not have even made semifinals. They wouldn't have even made heats. So huge performance from them. They came first in round 2 as well. So they were really popping off today. The momentum was high coming into this. We had Illis new team with Avery and Chucky getting 30th. Yuz, Chap, and Anchors, like I talked about, in 31st. We had Creo's team just getting in, and Joji, Knifer, and Donnie getting the last spot, clutching up the 12 Elim Victory Royale in their last game to qualify, just beating out Eli's team. Cease just missing out. If we scroll down a little bit, you will see Clix, Tahi, and Sprite. They got a 14 Elim third in their last game to just fall a few points short. And it's very unfortunate for Clix because this is the highest qualification threshold we've seen for top 33 out of any of the rounds of NA East and EU from the last 2 weeks. So they got very unlucky. Out of any other week, they would have qualified on EU or NA East. So this was sad to see. We did see Clix tweet out, legit played insane, so effing pissed, gotta just win heats. And he's streaming the Cash Cup tomorrow, so he can't be too destroyed. I'm excited to see how they go. It was a bit of an issue with their early and mid game setup. In end game, especially, Clix was absolutely popping off. I know kids are going to jump straight down Clix's throat and say he's doing terrible, but I think he did phenomenally well today. A lot of times I saw him clutching up big points as a solo. They just got to bring that teamwork together. Got to make sure they're into end game as a full team, and they will do phenomenally well. But don't stress. I know you're already panicking. Tomorrow, like I said with the EU, I'll make a full video talking about who got the most consistent to go into heats. But we've had Kinch Analytics. If you guys don't know, I've talked about him in the past. He runs all the analytics, all the statistics of who qualifies and who doesn't. And he has guaranteed that Clix has made it through. It is statistically impossible, no matter how well or how bad anyone does in the round 4, for Clix to get bumped out. So we have another chance. Clix will be playing in the heats. I know the format can be quite confusing. I was talking on stream about it today because I had to keep explaining like why Clix was in heats and other teams weren't and what's going on with Malibuco, and I was realizing that everyone was very confused about the format. I do have videos already discussing it, and I was talking about how good formats often are confusing because if they're simple, they usually don't allow for any consistency, or they're not very deep or well thought out. If you just had it where everyone who won a game makes the finals, like, you know, like the reboot rounds, like, yeah, that's very simple, and I think that's a really good positive to the reboot rounds and things like that. You watch a game of Fortnite, it's very simple. Whoever wins this game goes through. Okay, cool. You watch and you understand, but that's not going to work for every tournament, and it means a lot of good teams aren't going to make it, and a lot of bad teams might make it through that potentially didn't deserve it or weren't as consistent or aren't going to do as well in the finals, because ultimately, whenever people get win a Victory Royale and I say that maybe they don't deserve to be in the finals, I hear a lot of people say, oh, but they won a game. It's a Battle Royale. That's the most important quality. And I get that, but for me, a good format is going to get the best players into finals who are going to do the best in the finals. If you win 1 game out of 12 in the finals, you're probably not going to do that well on the leaderboard. Therefore, in my opinion, you didn't deserve to be there over someone else who might get top 5 in all 12 games and do phenomenal. So that's where I argue that from. So I know you might be confused, but don't let it take away from the fact that the FNCS so far has been really good. The meta is looking fantastic. The game is super fun to watch. Going into finals, we have some awesome storylines with really good teams. If you are confused, in tomorrow's video, I'll explain a lot more about who got through and why, but I just want to watch the round 4 first to see. I don't want to talk about a team or talk about how they made it through and then they don't actually make it through because they do poorly tomorrow, you know? I'll give you a full rundown of who makes finals tomorrow and why. So if you're confused, don't worry, I got you. As always, guys, remember, if you want more of the Fortnite competitive content, if you want to watch all of this go down live, all the craziness, check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. I'll be doing viewing parties all day today for the round 4 finals in replay modes, commentating the games, getting excited. I'll be doing EU, NA East, and maybe NA West, depending on how my energy is, because that's a 12-hour stream of full hype. So we'll see how we go, and I'd love to see you there. Alright guys, you know the deal. That does it for another video. If you enjoyed it, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on anything I talked about today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.